All right. So we are at some stage, okay, and we have some form, but we don't have a lot of detail, and this is a great place to be. You don't want to do this next step too early because, it can get to be too much. So I've opened up the geometry sub-palette over here, and this is what that's called. It's a sub-palette. So tool is the palette, geometry is a sub-palette, or it's a menu and a sub-menu. When I was there, we were going to try to change it to menus. That was a lot of rewriting that had to happen. Okay, so don't sweat it. If it's called a palette in the documentation of the tutorials you're looking at, that's fine, or a menu. So what we want to do now is divide. Okay, but you can divide a couple of different ways. You may or may not know about that. You can divide with smooth on, or you can divide with it off. Let's divide with it off. And I'm going to snapshot a model to one side. Don't worry about what I did. But notice that it smoothed it out. Okay, so it softened the details. Normally that's fine. There's no problem with that. But let me press Control Z to undo. And let me turn SMT off and divide it. And notice it didn't do anything. Or you think it didn't do anything. But if you come in here and you turn frame on and you look at the SDiv, you've got a slider. This is the subdiv level you had before, which was 3, and now we've got more. And you can see that we have added, but we have not smoothed it out. So let me turn polyframe off. And now I could sculpt more detail, and when I smooth things out, I could get different results. But a lot of my form will still retain that kind of simplified shape, or that faceted shape, I should say. Okay, but I do have more polygons here to work with. It's up to you which one you use, but most people leave smooth on. Okay, I have seen people work low res to get a likeness and then turn smooth off so that you don't lose the bone structure. But that's asking you to do quite a bit. So let me just come up here to layer and press clear. And then I'm going to move this around, and let's just undo as much as we can. ZBrush now has several undos. A lot more than ever before. If you look up here, I'm at 619 undos, and I can slide all the way back to the beginning and slide all the way through. And you might be looking at this thinking, holy crap, that is awesome! And it is. But let's not go there yet. Okay, let's just go back. I'm going back until I only have SD level 3. There you go. And now smooth is on. I'm going to divide this. I'm going to switch over to clay buildup. I'm going to add a little bit of a nostril. A little bit of volume in there, right? Add it up towards the top. Add this. Okay, I'm going to give a little bit of that nasojuggle groove in there. A little indicator. I'm going to give the nose a little arc right there. I'm going to give the inside orbit of the eye a little descent and find that lacrimal bone. Caruncula. Okay, pretty cool. Separate out the cheek. Make that a little bit more meaty, and what I might do is just say, try to find, or just try to emphasize that bony ridge of the cheek. Okay, and then I'm going to carve away a little bit. Now, there's a little bump right in there for the zygomatic. And I might try to separate this a little bit. Cool. Alright, I might also kind of push in behind that nostril and then build up next to it. But remember, I've got these lines I don't cross. Okay, I'll build up next to it, but I'm going to try not to cross that line because it's a structural line. And so now what I'm doing with more polygons is I'm basically taking rakes to the surface to establish some of the contouring. And you know, this might be a little bit early because we still got a lot to do with that lip. But that's the general idea. Okay, let's switch over to the standard brush. And now let's look at another option here. Another knife tool. Okay, I'm going to use the brush pop-up. I'm going to press B, and then I want to use slash brush, so it's S, and then I look for /3, and it got the number 3. So I just pressed B, S, 3, and I'm going to push in, and it's a nice brush. Now I'm going to lower my Z intensity so it's not so extreme, but there you go. I can press Alt with that as well, and then it helps build up lines. Okay, so it becomes like a knife and then not a knife. Alright, and I'm looking at those eyes, and I tell you, not looking good. Look what's happening. What's happening on this side? Absolutely nothing. But remember, those are the proportions. So this whole thing needs to squash in. Something more like that. So those eyes have got to kind of move in a little bit. Okay? And I play this loose because this is a problem you are going to run into. This is something that's going to happen to you. So I want to be there for you to fix that. That's the whole reason why you're in this and you're watching it. You're learning ZBrush, but you're also learning about common sculpting problems. See how I'm transitioning from the tools to the anatomy and the form, because you might hate certain parts of, you know, it might be hard to scale the model, for example. But now imagine if you're having a trouble scaling the model and you're having trouble with your anatomy. Oh my God. It's overwhelming. So I'll fix that in the next video.